So we've got some breaking news out of South Carolina, where just moments ago, the state Senate there voted to pass a bill that would drastically restrict abortion access in that state. This is the final step before this bill goes to the governor's office here. It aims to ban abortion almost entirely once a heartbeat is detected. That generally happens around 6 weeks. That's sometimes before most patients even know that they're pregnant. The proposal passed in the State House last week after nearly 24 hours of back and forth over amendments that some Democrats were putting forward. Now, here's why this matters, right? Here's why we're talking about this on a national newscast. Look at this map. This is why. If, in fact, the South Carolina governor signs this bill into law, it means that only Virginia would remain in this region as pretty much the only state in the South where people would have less restrictive access to abortion, because of the trends that we've seen since the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade. I want to bring in Sam Brock, who's been monitoring all of this, Sam. And this has just happened, right? This development, it has, in fact, now passed the state Senate. Walk us through next steps.
So the next steps are, as you said, Hallie, this goes to the governor's desk. All expectations at this point are that Governor McMaster is going to be signing this bill, which will become law. And then the lawsuits will come in the next couple of days. First, though, what actually happened tonight, the vote was 27-19. So the Senate putting the final stamp on this after 3 times in the last 8 months, the same chamber, the Senate, blocking a total ban of abortion in South Carolina. So this was, at least among the architecture of the South Carolina legislature, considered a more moderate position because the House the entire time wanted a complete ban. The Senate pushed back. Here's where we end up. There was a group of about 5 women at the center of that opposition, 3 Republicans, Hallie, 1 independent and 1 Democrat. And they said that a legislature of 170 people, there you see them on your screen right now, which are primarily white men, shouldn't be deciding the fate of women's rights in this state. And they took that as far as it could go. There were 3 Republican men who joined them initially in blocking a total ban. But they said this decision ultimately should be between a woman and her physician, or her husband and her partner. One of those Republicans, her name is Katrina Shealy, spoke on the floor a little earlier ago this afternoon. Here's what she said.
What kind of law is this if it's not a law against your wives and your daughters and your granddaughters? Surely we're confused. I think these are basic human rights.
The lawsuit that we mentioned is going to be coming, I'm told, from Planned Parenthood, as well as several clinics in the state of South Carolina, several physicians as well. And Hallie, it comes with the full sanctioning of all the amendments that the House added to this bill to make it more restrictive.
Sam, apologies if you can hear me coughing. Something's caught in my throat. But let me ask you this. You know, we talked about that map. The idea of an abortion access desert in the South is real.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's definitely real, right? Because now you have states like Florida and North Carolina who within the last several weeks both instituted their own bans as well. Large states, especially Florida, have the largest number of clinics. And now that's going to be a 6-week ban pending judicial review. We did find out today from the leader of the California Senate that initially in the first 3 months of last year, out-of-state residents had 87 abortions. He said already in the first 3 months of this year, it's over 1,000. So you're seeing women driving farther and farther to try to get abortions. Hallie, I want to point you out right now to the House amendments that we mentioned earlier. These are some of the changes that the House put into effect. That first one arguably is the most important, defining life as beginning with a fertilized egg as opposed to when the egg itself is implanted in the uterus. I'm told that could have wide-reaching implications for IVF and also could fast-track, in the words of one senator, the termination window from 6 weeks to 4 weeks. So we'll have to see. But there's a lot of changes that have just come down the pike in South Carolina.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.